everyone, today I'm bringing you some quick and easy meals which can all be served up within 15 minutes, give or take. They work great as weeknight dinners or just for a speedy something to eat. And these are all servings for 2 people, so you can either double the recipes for more of you or half them for a single serving. So my first recipe is this quinoa and roast vegetable dish with fresh basil pesto. For this, first preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, then take 2 cups of mixed frozen vegetables and spread that out evenly on a lined baking tray with a teaspoon of olive oil drizzled on all over. You can also use fresh chopped vegetables, but frozen veg is definitely the secret to quick meals. Place that in the oven for a full 15 minutes whilst you then cook the quinoa. I cook 1 cup of rinsed quinoa in 2 cups of boiling water on a medium heat, and I leave that untouched until it's cooked through. It's also a good idea to just shuffle the veg here too so that it doesn't catch or burn. In this time, make the fresh pesto by blending up 2 handfuls of fresh basil in a food processor with 3 tablespoons of pine nuts, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 2 minced garlic cloves, the juice of 1 lemon and some salt and black pepper for around a minute. When the quinoa is done, fluff it up with a fork and then serve it up into dishes. Remove the veg from the oven and then divide that up between the 2 portions of quinoa and then add the fresh pesto on top. I give it a gentle mix together, and then you can also serve it with some fresh basil leaves to finish. I've made something similar to this before with harissa stirred through, and you could recreate this with just about any sauce you like, which makes it pretty versatile. The frozen veg I found was actually a casserole mix. It had potatoes, onion, courgette, aubergine and even some sun-dried tomato, but again you could switch up the veg you use. It's a very quick and easy dinner, but it looks like a lot of time and effort has gone into it, and the fresh pesto just gives it so much flavour and brings the whole meal together. The next recipe is this pizza spaghetti. For this, first place your spaghetti in a pan of boiling salted water to cook. Whilst that's cooking, heat up 1 teaspoon of olive oil in a small saucepan on a low heat, and then mince in 2 cloves of garlic and fry that off for around a minute. Next, add in 1 can of chopped tomatoes, 1 teaspoon of dried mixed herbs and season it well with salt and black pepper. Give that a good mix together, bring it up to a gentle boil and leave it to simmer whilst you then drain and rinse the spaghetti. Serve up the spaghetti into dishes. The sauce should then be nice and hot at this point. You can then serve that up between the 2 dishes on top of the spaghetti, and I tend to just spread it out like I would on a pizza. You can then add on your pizza toppings. I used some artichoke, some sliced green olives, some sweet corn and also some fresh basil leaves to finish. You can also add some vegan cheese on top of this or some nutritional yeast to make it even more like a pizza too. And of course you can add whatever you like to this, whatever you would usually add on top of your pizza. I was quite tempted to use pineapple as that is my favourite all-time pizza topping, but you can get really creative with it, and with that said, it would be a really good, quick and easy after school dinner for kids too, and they can have so much fun adding what they want on top. This next recipe is a chickpea and spinach curry. For this, first heat up 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a large pan. Next, add in 1 tablespoon of garam masala, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of chili flakes and half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Mix that together into almost a paste and fry that off for around a minute before then adding in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and allow that to fry off too. Next, add in 1 can of chopped tomatoes and give it all a good stir together. Place that on a medium heat whilst you then cook some rice. I do half a cup of rinsed brown rice per person, and you can even start this before you make the curry. Whilst the rice is boiling, add 1 can of drained rinsed chickpeas to the curry. along with 2 handfuls of fresh spinach, and mix it all together well until the spinach has wilted. Then season it well with salt and black pepper and leave it to continue to simmer. Once the rice is cooked, drain it if necessary and then serve that up into dishes. Give the curry one last stir and then divide that up on top of the rice. I just topped it with some fresh coriander, which finishes it off nicely and adds loads more flavour. So depending on what you serve this with, it can take less or more than 15 minutes. You could serve it with white rice or quinoa. Those are usually cooked within around 15 minutes, whereas brown rice takes a little bit longer. That's just what I prefer to have with mine. But the curry itself does take 15 minutes to make. You could even have it as a dish by itself, maybe with some flatbread or some chapati. Either way, it's such a protein packed meal, really filling with so much flavour. If you wanted to make it creamier, you could also add in a few tablespoons of coconut cream as well. This actually freezes really well, so if you wanted to double the batch, you could then freeze any leftovers, and I would suggest then using that within 2 weeks whilst it's as fresh as possible. And the final recipe is this cashew and coriander pesto pasta. For this, first blend up 2/3 of a cup of cashews in a food processor with 2 handfuls of coriander, 2 cloves of garlic, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast and the juice of 1 lemon for around 3 minutes. You can also add some spinach in too to make it even more green in colour. Whilst that's blending up, cook the pasta. I usually do 1 cup per person, and then once that's done, just rinse it and drain it and add in the pesto. Give that a really good stir together. If you find it's too dry, you can always add in some more olive oil or lemon juice and then serve that up into dishes. You could always add some half-cherry tomatoes into this to bulk it out a little bit, maybe some rocket leaves too, or just turn it into a pasta salad. But all in all, this is a super quick meal which packs loads of flavour, yet it's different to a standard pesto, and if like me you like coriander, then you'll love this. The cashews make it a little bit thicker and really creamy too, and you can either use raw cashews or roasted cashews for this. And there you have a handful of quick and easy 15-minute meals. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, all of the recipes will be written up in the description box below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!